Baseball, where the MLBPA unanimously elected Bruce Meyer as its new executive director Wednesday night, replacing Tony Clark, who resigned just a couple days ago, less than a year before the expiration of the collective bargaining agreement, amid a scandal involving him and his sister-in-law and deals that were made with different groups and things. And it's a whole discussion we're going to save for another podcast and another person another time who's more knowledgeable.
On the personal level, I'm on a need-to-know basis. I don't need to know. I just I know what the reasons are. Because I've read it.
A lot going on there, but the big thing is the collective bargaining agreement is set to expire for baseball December 1st. And the expectation is owners are going to push for a salary cap. The players are going to not want that, and it is going to lead to a lockout.
Well, again,
let me put this part in here. Yeah. Tony Clark was the executive director, and Bruce Meyer was the lead negotiator for the MLBPA. Right. Meyer is more anti-cap than Clark was, and so you can kind of see where we're going here.
Sure, but I want to make a point about that. And related to what we just talked about. So let's take baseball aside, luxury tax. So we'll put them to the side for the moment. The reason you have structures in the NFL, the NHL, the NBA, and you're seeing other sports play out as well. But let's take those three primary ones. It is to create a competitive balance. That's not what college sports has right now. College football doesn't have a competitive balance. There's not a cap as to what you can put on Michigan basketball spending right now. Allegedly, there is. It's $20.5 million now, $21.3 million next year, which it should do that because the one part that we should not be allowed to control is, hi, I'm Kyle Leff for State Farm. And then you and Jake are out there doing it doesn't matter to me how much money you make from that. What's weird about it is that there's no college athlete out there, none, that is worthy, in my opinion. If I'm sitting in a room and we're discussing it at a table and they say, hey, we want to bring an athlete in, I said, no, I want to bring a pro athlete in.
The last athlete I can remember who was at that level in college sports was probably Caitlin Clark, in terms of you're going to consider bringing her in as a collegiate athlete because of...
Right, and they brought her in for State Farm and the whole thing. I don't see her on as much right now.
No, but my point of general
But in college, because most of the guys they bring in, I remember they brought in Bryce Young and he did the Dr. Pepper thing, and it's like going... Okay, but I'm saying okay, but I can't imagine he helps sell Dr. Pepper. Right? The whole idea is whether it tastes any good. Right? But you see what I'm saying? You have to have, Patrick Mahomes has commercial cachet, just like at one point Aaron Rodgers had a lot of commercial cachet. There are certain people that do. Danica Patrick does. She does all the endurance commercials and so forth because it's related to cars, whatever. And so she can do that. There are only certain people that can do that.
So getting back to the idea of the limits and restrictions. So in a couple years, after it's been a little bit of time of the rev share and the cap and the this in college sports, it'll have some semblance of structure.
It needs
to have
something.
Structure. It needs it.
But you've got to have leadership to have structure.
In baseball,
you can't just sit there in college where the entire strategy is going to Congress with your hat in your hand saying, okay, why don't you prove to them you are attempting to solve it yourself and you're going to get more cooperation from Congress because you are. They are doing nothing to show that they're solving it themselves. As for Major League Baseball, right? It's not just how Meyer feels about it. Okay?
It's the players feel.
It's not just the players. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates. It is the Kansas City Royals. It's the Miami Marlins. Right? It's the Chicago White Sox. Okay? They don't want a floor. A cap brings with it a floor. Now you're telling me I have to spend $100 million?
Yeah.
Right? So the owners have their own issue right? With their like, oh, this is awful what the Dodgers doing. Well, we'd like a cap. Well, a cap means a floor. Well, you've got the teams at the bottom that don't want to spend the money. Okay, the Tampa Bay Rays don't want to spend the money.
Yeah, the expectation.
Right? Okay, you've got teams that don't want the cap because they don't want the floor.
The expectation would be a salary cap in baseball would be a ceiling of about $240 million, which I believe 5 teams-ish were over this past season.
Yeah.
And the floor would be around the $140 to $160 million range, which is $100 million plus dollars more than teams like the Pittsburgh Pirates spent this past season.
There is no way there's no way in heck the Pittsburgh Pirates are doing that. None. All right. $140 million? I'd go 100 and tell them they could go to 400. You want to go to 400? Great. Okay, can't go over 400. I put the cap so high. I realize there are only certain people that can get there because already the Dodgers are already spending more than that. So are the Mets. Okay, I put it high enough where I'd say, hey guys, that gives you a lot of leeway to get a lot of big contracts. So there's only 26 on the team, right? And then we bumped up the floor to 100 million, right? That way, like, others will be able to get more money. And get that. I mean, I try to sweeten the pot in such a way where I make that cap high enough and I make the floor reasonable enough where they feel like they're getting something.
Let's say it's $140 million. Let's say that's the number. Let's just say 140 because I'll tell you why.
Tampa Bay Rays spending that?
I'm going to get this. Let's say it's 140. The tax payroll for every MLB team this past season, if it's $140 million, 10 teams, I believe, 11 teams fell outside of that cap number.
That's right.
The Athletics, the Brewers, the Pirates, the Twins, the Cardinals, Rockies, White Sox, Rays, Nationals, Guardians, and Marlins were the teams that fell outside of the $140 million floor,
right?
If you will.
So the Guardians and the Brewers are the two that overcame that and made the playoffs.
Yes, but the rest of them are not. Of course, the biggest, currently, as it sits, the team that would have to literally double their budget is the Marlins, who are sitting at under $80 million. They'd have to just about double their money, their spend.
Right.
And the reason players do not want this is because then it puts a cap on spending. Where you're seeing, of course, the Dodgers throwing around all this money to all these players. MLB is kind of okay with it because it means guys can get paid a lot of money, and you can there's an exponential number on it, essentially.
Of course.
Versus the owners want it for let's say the Cubs, because they don't want the Dodgers to be able to spend billions of dollars. No one does, because the Dodgers are spending exorbitant fees and they're paying the tax number because they don't care. But they also want to make them more competitive. The reason it is this way is because it's how it's always been in baseball, and this is kind of the sticking point: is will there be a cap / floor, or will there not be? We do not know, because it's basically going to come down to who blinks first. Are the owners going to blink and say, well, we actually need baseball, we need the players, we need this, no salary cap, none of that, we're just going to continue, basically? Or do the players blink and say, well, we need the paychecks, we need this, we need that, salary cap, just do it? Like, who blinks first is the question, and we don't know.
The late George Steinbrenner always said he had no problem paying the luxury tax. His problem was because the luxury tax was meant to go into a pool, and the teams you just talked about would be the ones that would get the money. And his biggest complaint was the system was supposed to be, I exceed the luxury tax, I pay the money, you get the money, and that money is supposed to go to salaries. That gives you a better chance of being competitive. That's how the system's supposed to work. But that's not how the system works. They pay the luxury tax. The money is spread to teams. What do the Pirates do with it? They keep it.
Looks like profit.
Right. They keep it. They bank the check. They don't put it into salaries. They bank the check. And they aren't the only ones. And that was George Steinbrenner said repeatedly, that's my problem with the luxury tax. Not paying it, but the object is for them to spend it on players for competition. He says, and I'm seeing one team after another bank the checks and not spend it. Thanks for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones. Catch the latest from me on the 7 Mountain Sports YouTube page. Find clips of the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching up 7 Mountain Sports.